Rise. Sorry, I got lost in the song. Good morning, everybody. And I hope that you have all enjoyed a cup of coffee and a good time. We shall see what is coming up this morning. But first, and there's a reason I have not put out the link so people can join me on the panel. I'm going to do a Bible study first. And then you guys can come up and we can talk about whatever. I have said that I will answer any questions that I'm capable of answering, so we shall see what happens. But I've been up getting coffee ready and getting myself ready for this stream, and I studied yesterday. We shall see what happens. So again, about give me 10, 15 minutes of Bible study. It shouldn't take that long, hopefully, and then we'll get on through. Good morning, Jedi Bill. Good morning, Captain Trek. Good morning, Robert Pearson, Darth Haster, Wes Moody. Thank you guys for all being here. I hope I don't bore you to death with this subject, but I honestly think this is very important for Christians who are on YouTube and critiquing pop culture the way I do. Also, co-hosting live streams, hosting live streams, whatever the case may be. I really do think that this subject this morning is important for Christians on YouTube who may be questioning their own morality. So we'll see what happens. If you would like to, and if you do actually have a Bible and you're willing to turn to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, go ahead. I will actually read the relevant scriptures myself right now, and then I will go into the topics. But again, like I said, it shouldn't take too long. I'm not a preacher, and I am not a theologian. I'm just a layman who likes to study the Bible sometimes. So 1 Corinthians chapter 10, starting in verse 23. Now, this is, and I'll go into a little bit of the history of Corinthians here in a moment, but let me go ahead and read these 6 verses. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth. And I'll talk about the word wealth here in a few minutes as well. Whatsoever is sold in the shambles that eat, ask no question for conscience sake. For the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. If any of them that believe not bid you to feast, and ye be disposed to go, whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no question for conscience sake. But if any man say unto you, this offered in sacrifice unto idols, eat not for his sake that shoot it, and for conscience sake, for the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Conscience, I say, not thine own, but of others. For why is my liberty judged another man's conscience? For if I by grace be a partaker, why am I evil spoken of for that for which I give thanks? All right. So I usually read out of the New International Version or the New King James. That was the original King James, which is very difficult to pronounce a lot of the times. The argument tends to go, well, it's a lot of poetry type stuff. And I go, well, I don't read poetry either. So I do like the translations. And Wes Moody, thank you. Yeah. I actually don't go to church anymore myself. So I understand. And hopefully this makes sense to some people. It makes sense to me, and this is the way I've lived my life for the last few years. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so Corinthians, 1 Corinthians. It was written by the Apostle Paul on his missionary journeys. And 1st and 2nd Corinthians are letters that he wrote to the church in Corinth. Now, that is a place in Greece where it's a little tiny peninsula, and basically it was the Las Vegas of its time because you had rivers and um, it was a convergence. So a lot of trading and a lot of, okay, there was a temple there that had 1,000 priestesses that were dedicated to prostitution. And that's how they worshiped a certain god in Corinth. So that is the background and the backdrop for this setting. So you got to take into consideration the type of Christian church that was there at the time. And one parenthetical aside, there was a man in the church at Corinth who was excommunicated in 1 Corinthians for sleeping with his father's wife. Now, that was not his mother, but it was his father's wife. And so that was reprehensible even in Corinth at the time. And so he was excommunicated from the church. The ironic thing is, in 2 Corinthians, he was welcomed back into the fold. So it's kind of funny. But I mean, he stopped doing what he was doing, and he was forgiven, and he came back into the church, and he was a good churchgoer at that point. All right, so that's a little bit of background on Corinth. It was the Las Vegas of its day. Let's say that. That's the best way to say it. All right, so what does it mean that all things are lawful, but not all things are edifying? What does that mean? Well, as a Christian, I can literally do anything that my friends, neighbors, people in my community do. Anything at all. There is nothing inherently sinful in my day-to-day life that is condemning of my soul. So when I die, I go to heaven, period. Should I do all of these things? No. And there's a reason for that. So prostitution, certain types of drugs, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I don't look down on anyone who is a pot smoker or addicted to opioids or whatever the case may be. I mean, I was addicted to opioids. Legally, of course, but it took me 3 months to get over the withdrawals. It was bad. And I would go back on them in a heartbeat, trust me, because the amount of alcohol I consume at this point is ridiculous. And it's very expensive. The opioids were free. But what I'm talking about, and it goes a little bit into that later on in the few verses that I read. Basically, what I'm talking about is I can drink, I can smoke, I can go to bars, I can go to dances, I can enjoy myself and have fun on YouTube. I mean, I'm co-host of Insomniac Soup, and if you've watched Insomniac Soup, you know it's not a Christian organization. When I host karaoke, I don't care what song you sing. You can sing whatever song you want. It's not me. All right. So I sing the songs I like. You sing the songs you like. As long as myself as a Christian man am not forcing others to following laws and rules which were never set down in Christian faith to begin with. So not all things build me up. I wouldn't go to a prostitution house. I would not get hooked on heroin, whatever the case may be. For those types of things, they are not edifying to me. Now, do I drink a lot? Yep, and I have to. I go without for about a week, and the trembling and the pain is so severe that it's ridiculous. So I must drink. And I know it sounds like a cop out, but I go without for about a week every couple of months just to make sure that I still can and that I'm not really addicted to alcohol. So it's very odd for me to say that, since I was a teetotaler for many years, give or take. I could get away with drinking when I could, but I was never addicted, and I'm not addicted now, unfortunately, even though it certainly seems that way sometimes. So the thing is, when I go to a Christian, like a picnic or something, I won't drink at um, the barbecue or the picnic or whatever the case may be, because I don't want to make others falter. So I won't drink and I won't smoke around other Christians if they feel that it is something that is wrong. I was in a Southern Baptist church. Having been in the Army, I was in multiple different denominations and churches all over the world, and not just our country, but all over the world. So I have a unique perspective on what different congregations believe is good and bad. And in this case, it doesn't matter which Christian congregation I go to, I just won't drink and smoke, because those are the big hot topic issues with Americans these days. So I just won't do that there. I may not be, to be perfectly honest with you, I'll be in a lot of pain, but I will also be in a worshipful mood. So, and that's the important part, is the spirituality of whatever denomination you choose, and even whatever religion you choose. There are people out there who think that if you are not in a Christian religion, then you are not a spiritual person and that you don't deserve respect. Well, that's not the case. Okay. Obviously, I want you to see things my way, but if you don't, well, that's your business. You've been told the news, the good news, as we say in Christian circles. And so I'm not going to badger you and beat you over the head with it. But if you've tuned in here, you want to hear my opinion on the Bible, here is my opinion. I am not going to do things that make a brother falter. That is the point. And I am not going to have a list of 15, 12 commandments or whatever the case may be that I am going to force you to live by, obviously. As a YouTuber and having a free and open conversation with people, that's impossible. So I'm not going to offend people. I am not going to badger people into my way of thinking. Now, I did say we would touch on the don't ask where the meat came from thing. That's basically what I touched on it with the drinking and smoking thing, but in this case, the Apostle Paul in Corinth is asked to a dinner party, and instead of saying, "Oh, where did this meat come from? Because if it was sacrificed to an idol, I can't eat it." Well, the host didn't say that, did he? No, he just put the meat down in front of you. So if you're gonna look for reasons to be offended, there's nothing I could do about that. But if you just go ahead and eat the meat, then you haven't violated any rules or any laws. There are no rules and laws. Everything under God's earth is something you can eat. Now, if you're there with another Christian, if you're there with a brother who is less secure in his faith, and he says, or the host says, this was sacrificed to an idol, but I mean, it's just meat. Well, that younger brother, I like to say younger brother because it's easier to say than it is to say you're not as secure in your faith as I am. Well, instead of eating that meat, you should just set it aside and go on and edify the man or sister sitting next to you at the dinner table. So that's why I don't drink and I don't smoke at Christian gatherings, because it really would hurt other Christians if I did. So I don't. Now, obviously, I'm posting this on YouTube. So anyone who wants to come by and listen to me jabber on for a while, they'll hear what I'm saying, but they won't actually witness me doing it. And so it may not be as detrimental in that case. Who knows? So don't eat meat offered to idols. Now, the ironic thing is this whole set of verses is talking about not being legalistic. Legalistic meaning you have 18,000 rules that you have to follow as a Christian in order to get into heaven. Well, that's just not the case. The only thing you need to get into heaven is to be forgiven by Jesus Christ, and that's it. So everything else is learning, and it's a huge learning curve. But churches, for the sake of the congregation, because you've got hundreds of people going to a church, you tend to make rules so that everyone in the church feels like they're contributing, rather than, you're a Christian now, go out and live your life, but remember that you're a Christian. Well, how do you teach people that if they're not reading the Bible, if they're not studying the Bible? You make up rules, and those rules become dogma. The dogma becomes sacred, and all of a sudden, you just can't be a free Christian anymore. Well, I'm a free Christian, and I'm not going to make any apologies for that. Okay, so wow, I really did go over all my notes. All right, there's two more. And these are the two highlights that I would like to highlight. Okay, so first is whatever you do, do it to the glory of God. As a YouTuber, as a live stream host, as a video content creator, whatever the case may be, I try my best, and I often fail, but I try my best to do things that would be considered in line with my Christian conservative point of view. But even on karaoke nights, I'm not singing all Christian songs, because even though I am a Christian and that is what defines me, I have a lot of tastes outside of Christianity. I don't only go to Christian movies. I don't only go to church. I don't only sing Christian songs. So why would that be any different in any other portion of my life? That really would be almost impossible in a military service, a long-term military service like mine. So it's something I've had to come to grips with over the years. Not everything I do is a Southern Baptist ruled type of service, but everything I do is to the glory of God, to the best of my ability. And so that is the way I live my life, and I hope that people can understand that. Here's one that I often get from folks. Do you have to go to church to be a Christian? No, you don't. I mean, I don't go to church now. I don't have a home church. I'm not going to drive 30 miles to the nearest town every Sunday morning just to go into a service that is similar to the one I grew up in. It's not worth it. it may be worth it for many, many other people. And I don't put that down at all. If you want to drive 30 miles or if you want to go to one of the local churches here in town, that's your prerogative. You're welcome to it. I don't have to. I have the studies on CD. I've got, as a matter of fact, a lot of these notes came off of one of my Bible studies. So it's not that I have to go to church. Now, if my kids need to go to church, and we do periodically go, but a lot of the time, and I've found this to be the case many, many times, more often than not, church-going persons are going for status rather than for spiritual nourishment. Now, spiritual nourishment would mean that you are growing in the faith. You get to the point where, someone comes to your house and they have beer on their breath. You're not offended. So you're growing in the faith rather than being legalistic and ruling your life through rules. You can't dance and you can't drink and you can't smoke. And you better not watch Footloose because that's a rebellious movie. I'm not joking. I was told that when I was a teenager. You better never watch Footloose. Even when I was a teenager, Footloose was an old movie. But a lot of people, they tend to go to church for the status rather than for the spiritual development. So that's the last of it. And I've gone 20 minutes. So I am going to go ahead and post the link in the chat. And anyone who would like to come up and chit chat for a bit. And if you want to ask questions, by all means, ask questions. I will try to answer, but I am no guru and I am no theologian, but we can have some fun and talk and I'll see what I can do. So you guys are welcome to come on up and ignore the train whistle in the background, unless you like trains, in which case listen to it. So there is the Bible study for the morning. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, I thought that was important for myself, at the very least. Other YouTubers who are on here and saying that they're Christian and like myself, not putting out only Christian content or what would be considered Christian content. So hopefully next week I'll actually be able to come up with a different topic. Well, I could go on about this for another 40 minutes, or somebody could come up here and keep me company. I don't care either way. Good morning, V-Star. And Nina Green, thank you for joining us. Thank you. I hear the train a-coming. It's rolling around the bend. Yeah. I actually like living near the railroad tracks. I mean, don't get me wrong. This little town I live in is based on the railway and tourist trade and things like that. If you're close to the Grand Canyon and you don't have tourist trade based on the Grand Canyon, you're in trouble. As a matter of fact, in the 80s, when the train was shut down, this town was a ghost town. You could buy a house here for $10,000. Mind you, these houses were all built basically on railroad ties. I mean, it was built as a mining town to begin with. Okay, so and then the train reopened in '89, and it's been going ever since, and the town has just gotten better and better. So I like living here, and I really enjoy it. All right, Robert Pearson has a question. Can you get LDG on to discuss black holes and Star Trek lore. He still hasn't responded to me or Jedi Bill. He's still really mad. All right, your real question. Have you read the Bible cover to cover? And if so, which part resonated with you most? Okay. I have read it cover to cover, yes. Again, my memory is really bad. But in this case, the parts that resonate with me most are the epistles, the letters written by the Apostle Paul. They're called epistles, making up at least half of the New Testament. His take interpretation on Christianity is how I tend to lead my life, and that gets overshadowed many times by others. And again, like I said, it tends to be a legalistic and rule-based system that most Christians live by. And again, like I said, good morning, Nina Green. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Thank you for joining me on the Morning Blend.
Oh, you're welcome.
How are you? Is Jedi Bill listening in the background? I hear the echo.
Yeah, we're like eating right now, so
No worries.
he cooked breakfast for me.
Oh, nice on him. Right on, Jedi Bill. Good job. But yeah, Robert Pearson, LDG Pixels, he has not responded to either Jedi Bill or myself. I think he's still mad at both of us.
What happened?
Well, he got extra drunk Friday night.
Uh-oh.
And started insulting everyone on the panel. And so Jedi Bill kicked him out of the panel. Although I think our biggest mistake was having him back several times rather than just leaving him on his own. But that's neither here nor there at this point. I'm hoping that he forgives us by tomorrow.
Hopefully.
Yeah, once I'm done with this stream, I'm off the internet for a couple of days. I'll be back for the soup on Monday night, but I don't intend to do anything else on the internet today or tomorrow.
Well, that's good.
I like my weekends, even though my weekends consist of Sunday and Monday now, rather than Saturday and Sunday.
I asked you if you wanted some. You told me no. Now you want it.
Are you talking to the cat or Jedi Bill?
I'm talking to the cat. He wants a piece of bacon. I offered him a piece, and he turned his head up on it. So,
oh, yes.
No, he
Cats
wants
do that to you.
Nothing. He's silly cat. You want some egg now? It's good egg.
Not sure cats like egg that much.
Yep.
Although my dogs will eat anything I leave on the counter. Oops.
Well, I don't know about that then. You gotta watch out for that.
Yeah, I know. It's gotten to the point where, well, I just don't leave anything on the counter anymore.
Well, that's good.
And Jedi Bill is with us. Hello, Jedi Bill.
Hello.
Now we got two people in the same apartment on two different mobile devices. I'm getting motion sick watching you people.
That's the food. Breakfast, eggs, orange juice.
That looks like a standard American breakfast to me.
I do try.
How you feeling this morning, Jedi Bill?
Okay.
Good. I know we were up extra late. Extreme close up. It did look like a lot of eggs when you were showing us on the camera. What was that 2 or 3 eggs? But it looked like a lot when you had the camera real close to it. Extreme close up.
Uh-huh. So Pickles is still sore. Still upset at me.
Well, he hasn't responded.
He's still mad.
To me. I checked on his live
Yeah,
stream
but-
last night a couple of times, and he was going on about Friday night stream. So I don't know. I guess he's still mad at us. No worries. Here's V Star. Hello, V Star. Good morning. How are you feeling this morning, darling?
Like a train ran me over.
Well, I got one outside my front door. You can come on over and get run over by it again if you want to.
Oh, no, thanks. I don't know. I fell asleep friggin' 12 hours ago. I never sleep like that.
Oh my goodness, I haven't slept like that in years, actually. So
I'm telling you, but had a lot of insight. I get a lot of insight when I'm sleeping, apparently. And I heard you talking about the Bible and stuff. I caught the last, and I don't know what you were discussing this morning, but
basically the freedom.
And you know
of
how I am. I find the Bible and the Dead Sea Scrolls and all that. Yeah, I find all that fascinating, except Christianity. But then again, there's been a lot of,
a lot of negative press as far as Christianity
bad
is
hypocritical crap. But that's in every religion,
It's not all undeserved either. So
it is.
And Robert Pearson said at Jedi Bill, I saw rambling karaoke last night.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not all undeserved. A lot of people get hurt in the church. And good morning, Neil. Yeah.
And Robert Pearson said, Jedi Bill, you got a set of lungs on you, brother. Rock and roll. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, V Star. Yes. A lot of it. And Christianity is a multi-layered thing, so you can't label all Christians as the same. Unfortunately, if you identify as a Christ worshiper, you tend to be labeled the same with the nut jobs who protest military funerals. Because apparently, I guess we are all the same, but
right. So yeah, I changed mine to a Jesus follower. I would like to follow the ways that he was following.
Well, I mean,
who did he hang out with?
Well, when the Pharisees asked him, what are the most important commandments, he said, love your neighbor as yourself. Or he said, love God above everything and then love your neighbor as yourself. Right? And so whether my neighbor be a Muslim or atheist or whatever, I am to love that person as myself.
Absolutely. And that's what it is all about. That's it. It's simple. We make it so difficult.
But yeah, exactly.
I keep getting knocked off.
Well, you're a little patchy.
If you look throughout the Bible,
Say again?
Yeah, if you look through the Bible, and you highlight the word love, you'd be amazed.
Yeah, I've heard that statistic. It's some ridiculous number, like 217 times, I think, or something like
Yeah.
that. So we are commanded to
It's the
love. We
Almighty.
are,
I don't
we are
even like.
taught to love. And it's the
Right.
church doctrine that tends to make us less lovable people.
Love everybody, but not those who have had abortions or are gay or don't agree with my teaching. Love
Right?
everybody, but
Love everybody except these people.
don't
Really?
love. Yeah, it's like, no, how can
I
you
mean,
say love God, love people? Yeah. And my pastor was up there saying, love, we are all about love God, love people, but abortion, blah, blah. And I just like friggin' flipped. You know how I am. And I'm just like, I turned to my other pastor, who was my first pastor here. And I said, are you flipping serious? I said, we are to judge not, lest ye be judged, period. Yeah, you should see his ministry now. It's not too happening. I'll tell you that.
no, I believe
Keep
that.
all the derelicts. We have two church. Yeah, we have two churches. The ones with the $59 chairs, which he keeps mentioning, and the mailbox outside, so you can drop your eyes off for coronavirus. I'm like, are you flipping? But then we have another church downtown in like the worst part of Lexington for the drug addicts. They get fold-up chairs. I mentioned that. Well, we don't want their. I said, are you going to say you don't want their filth on your chairs?
I don't know if you've heard of Calvary Chapel. It's worldwide now, but in the 60s or 70s, it was just a little tiny chapel on the coast of California. And the pastor there, Chuck Smith, he started inviting all of the hippies, all of the homeless, all of the surfers, everyone who stayed at the beach in Southern California. He invited them all. And so they would all come to church in flip flops and shorts, and and it was
Come to church.
I mean, it's not about wearing a suit and tie. It's about going to church and worshiping God.
Right.
And that's what he
And
taught.
what it says in the word, gather yourself with like-minded people, with other believers. The church, the body of the church, is not a physical building, and people still just want to, like, oh, hi, how are you? And it's like a social effing hour. And I'm like,
Yeah.
one day I went to church. Yeah.
I did touch on that a little bit in the Bible study. Why do you go to church? Do you go to church for status, or do you go to church to feel superior to others? Or do you go to church for spiritual enlightenment? Well, I don't go to church at all anymore.
No, but, I don't either. I have some that I watch online, and I have my own, my own connection that I do. And I have people like-minded around me right now, around my apartment complex. That's church right there. Where two or more are gathered, you're having, God is in the midst of it. So it's been so friggin' overdone. And I remember hearing when this whole thing happened. It's really weird because I got woken up and I did a Facebook video and it wasn't me. It was like I was empowered by the Holy Spirit or something, because believe me, I would not get up with just out of bed with a little shirt on, wrapped in a blanket, doing a Facebook video with my hair all over the place. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, something's coming, y'all. Something's coming, y'all. Y'all better pay attention. No, in fact, it was before. It was like right when I got out of the hospital. I said, something's coming. Something's coming. I said, y'all better start watching out. February, it's going to hit. February 2nd, it's going to hit. There's going to be a spiritual awakening. And then February 2nd, 2020, all these number things. And the numerologists were all over that. And I'm just like, Lord, help me. And he goes, I'm going to stop the world for y'all.
Well, in February, I was concentrating on getting my birthday party ready, so I wasn't paying attention to any of the news or
random
numerology gibberish or
I don't have
anything
TV.
like that.
No, I don't even have TV. I don't pay attention to any of that shit because it's just shit. I don't want to hear shit, But I'm just saying what happened, what came to me in a dream, like, and I found that fascinating because it's like I don't know. I don't even know where I was. I haven't even had coffee yet. I'm just babbling. This is my first
Fair
morning.
enough.
My here we go. It's my morning page babbly crap.
Yeah, morning babble. The morning babble. That sounds good.
Oh, I should start. If I ever can get live, I'll do one like that. That's for writers. They call it a morning pages. As soon as you wake up, just start writing. You get all the babble, crappity crap out of your head. That makes your head more, your brain more intuitive to your creative part. So, anyways,
And Jitsi Lemons,
I don't know.
Jitsi Lemons, I'm not ignoring your comments
Oh.
there. I don't know how Nina is doing that either. I assume that the phone is on the arm of her chair rather than
I'm
anything
not on
else.
my phone. I'm on a pad.
It's a notepad.
Oh, okay. All right. It's a notepad. I assume that's on the arm of the chair since they're eating breakfast. That's all I'm saying.
Actually, it's in her lap.
Okay. No worries. Yeah, I'm not ignoring the comments. I couldn't figure out how to answer that one. So
I'm on my avatar.
I kind of like the Sunday morning stream, although when the alarm woke me up this morning, I was like, I'm awake. But singing for 5 hours straight will do that to you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Do you guys do the after karaoke too?
Of course.
Of course.
Of
That's
course.
2 weeks
I
in a
don't
row.
stop karaoke at 10 o'clock at night. Jeez.
Always.
Maybe next week. Maybe next week. I've been threatening to sing now for 2 weeks, so
Oh, that would be fun.
it would be very interesting, that's for sure.
Darth Astor says, morning babble or morning babel?
Ah. Hey, Darth. Yeah, no, we tend to
Hey,
stay
Darth.
away from that Tower of Babel. Yeah.
I don't know. The first Bible study I did was Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2, and it took me the entire hour to talk about it.
Really? That's only
Well-
our beginning, though. That's not the beginning.
That's what I said.
Because Job is actually the oldest book. So how can Job be the oldest book if Genesis is the first book? See,
It was
Bible
it was put in
is
order. I know Moses wrote
Yeah.
the books after he freed the Israelites from slavery.
Right.
So a lot of oral history went into those first 5 books. A lot of law that is still followed
Yes.
today by many Jewish
Yes.
people. And
take 10 commandments and make 650 laws, man laws after it. I know that the Almighty has to be, and our angels are up there. They just shake their heads. I know that they shake their heads. Oh, good. Here she comes, Nancy. Ah, damn, she got it wrong again. Shake my head, shake my head, shake my head. Why are you making it so difficult down there? 10. We gave you 10. You got 650. Nobody's going to ever follow
I'm
the
sure-
10.
I'm sure that happens to me all the time.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. The more that you open up to the spiritual realm, I mean, it's amazing, but I see where people get a little scared. It's scary. It's scary. It's like angels are not little cherubs. They're
Oh
battle
no, they're
warriors.
great big battle warriors. Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason they when they're mentioned in the Bible, the people,
Bible
the
do
humans
not
who
be-
see them, are
Do not be afraid.
absolutely shitting their pants at how scary they are. And they always
Yes.
have to start with, do not be
Do not
afraid.
be afraid. Yep. We had a discussion like that and at when a church that I went to, a Pentecostal, but the pastor was way free thinker, and he brought
That's
up in the
odd
middle of,
for a Pentecostal.
oh, wait till you hear this. I love him. He brought up, he goes, what if the angels are really the aliens that we see, the blue and the gray ones? Because they always say, do not be afraid. And it's like he plucked it right out of my head, what we just said. And his dad, the bishop, was there. That did not go over well. And I'm like, who's to say? Way, babbling, like Jitsi, babbling and Babel.
Babbling and Babel. That's what we do.
That's why they separate. That's why God said, nope, enough of this shit. I'm separating all you idiots. So y'all just, there you go. You're all separated. Yeah. And I was like, think about it. Nobody knows. So why is everybody trying to know when Proverbs 3:5-6 says, that's my thing. Lean, Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust the Lord with all your heart. Lean on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him and he shall direct your path.
Yeah.
First of all, there's that keyword in there. But that's about it. Don't try to figure it out again. Because you can't.
Yeah, and that theme is repeated over and over again in the New Testament. Do not base your lifestyle on someone else's. You cannot live up to their own to their
and do not figure me out.
So come up with your own standards and live by those.
And my ways are higher. My thoughts are different, basically, is what the word says, So don't try to figure out can you imagine? Why are we trying to figure out God's thoughts? When Revelation's happening? Revelation's been happening since the day of the fall of man. Okay, and this whole getting caught up in the spirit and everybody's going to be flying up and gone. I'm like, I believe that happens to you when you die. If you read it correctly and it says at the very end, do not take anything from it or do not add anything to it from this book. I believe that's the whole book, not just Revelations. That's just my opinion. Don't just take, and I've heard too, you'll read something once and just go, huh? And then maybe 5 minutes later, a year later, whatever, you'll read that again and those words will pop out. And it's happened to me. And I'm like, whoa, okay, I got it. Because every season, there's a time for everything. And your knowledge will come when you're ready for it. So henceforth, God's not going to give you more than you can't handle. People think that that's, heaviness. No, God's not going to give you the word unless you can handle it, because he doesn't want us spreading, like I say, look, this is my opinion, because I'm not going to stand up there and have to explain every word that came out of my mouth, because I'm already in a lot of trouble. So this is my understanding. You know what I'm saying? This is my understanding, and this is how I perceive it in my walk. Everybody's got their own walk.
That happens to all of us who study and meditate on the Bible. It happens to every religious text. I mean,
exactly.
I talk about the Bible mainly because that's the religious text that I live my life by.
Right.
But anyone, you could watch a TV show over and over again, and something new will pop out, and that is a new revelation to you from that TV show. So it's not just religious texts that happens to.
It's Star Trek a lot. I hear all of y'all fighting over Star Trek and Star Wars, and it gives me such a flipping headache. And I'm all, it's look, you guys, you're all watching the same show, but you're all getting different meanings. That's exactly about life. You're
Yeah.
all in a show. We're all getting different meanings. Why argue? Just, hey, that's an interesting fact. Okay. But you don't have to say, no, that's wrong. No, just say, okay, that's interesting. I always say that's interesting because I take everything in. That's my problem. And then that's why I get a headache. I'm like, I got to stop. I got too much information going on up here, and I need to sort out what I believe is my truth. Like you have your truth. Everybody has their own truth, and nobody should be bashed for it. Once
Yeah,
again,
nobody should be bashed for it.
you know,
Exactly. And I mean, all right, so I have one rule that I am required to follow is, have you heard that Jesus was the Son of God and that he died on the cross to forgive our sins?
right.
Have you
Right.
heard that? Do you
I've
accept that
heard
as
that,
truth?
and I believe it.
Well,
Absolutely,
then,
because you know
okay.
what? There is nothing greater than for another man to lay down his life.
Yeah, for others, exactly. And other than that, that's the truth that I live by. So there are
Right?
agnostics, and atheists, and other religion people that I am friends with on YouTube, and I will never give that up. I will not.
Right.
So
I
my
love
faith is pure.
right, like Kathia Starr. She's a pagan but believes in Jesus.
Yeah,
Okay. I follow the teachings of Jesus because he came to teach us how to live those 10 rules. Very simple. And to show us our gifts, because we all have spiritual gifts. We all have a lot of gifts that a lot of people are now tapping into. But I tend to I'm not religious. I do not believe in man-made religion. Henceforth, the 650 rules that were made from the 10. 10 came down, 10 I will follow. Have I broken every 10? Yes. Am I forgiven? Yes. Do I move
yes,
on? Yes. Do I
yes,
break them again?
exactly.
Yes. Do I turn
Most
around and
likely,
repent?
absolutely.
Yes. Every dang diggly dollary day do I break one.
And
You
okay,
know?
here's a question. Do you know the difference between sin and iniquity?
Hmm. Huh. Hmm.
Sin is when you make a mistake, you break a commandment, right?
Right.
Like, Dad,
Iniquity is
you're an
when you think.
asshole.
Right. Right.
Right? So you disrespected your father and your mother, right? That's
Right.
breaking a commandment. But if you do that every single day and you knowingly break that commandment every single day, that is iniquity.
Iniquity, and you don't repent for it.
Exactly.
See, now
Exactly.
we're gonna fall, but I've learned I just pick myself up, I turn around, oh, forgive me, help me, zip my mouth, Jesus, reel me back in, whatever I need to say, and I might do it 10 more times, but that doesn't matter,
You're not
but
looking
it
forward
matters,
to, yeah,
right?
you're
I
not
call
looking
it,
forward to saying, Dad, you're an asshole. Or you don't
right,
pick up
like I
the
call
phone
it
and call him every day and go, oh, Dad, you're an asshole.
an asshole, right? I call it premeditated sin. Like I'm
Premeditated sin. I
premeditating.
like that. I
Yes.
like
Like
that. Yeah, that's
I'm
iniquity
Lord,
right
I'm gonna
there.
sin. I'm gonna sin. So can you forgive me? No, because you have a choice, girl.
I
Either you're
like
gonna
that.
do it or
That's a
not.
very good take on that. I'm going to steal that and use it from now on.
Go ahead. I thought I said that's I said that's like me plotting my sin. And I've
Yeah,
done it.
premeditated sin. I like that.
Yes.
That is a brilliant way to talk about it. I love it. Yeah, that's
Uh,
iniquity. That is iniquity.
yes,
People make
absolutely.
mistakes. I make mistakes. For crying out loud, I am not a great person. I am not.
But that's the point. That's the point right there. We make mistakes. We have skeletons. We need to confess that. We walk around as, quote, Christians. I'm blessed. blessed. No, you're not effing blessed because you got shit going on in your life. Once you expose it, and other people who are having shit going on in their lives are going, well, I can never stand up and be a Christian. Look at these perfect people. They're not perfect. And
No,
that's what
certainly
pisses me
not.
off. Tell
Yeah.
people what you're going through. Like, I have a struggle right now, and this is my struggle, and I'm exposing it because that's what the word says. Once it's exposed to the light, it diminishes its power. Then people know, and people can start, praying or meditating, encouraging, blah, 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 blah. They know, oh my God, that's a broken person. Like when I stood up and told my testimony downtown in Lexington, I made it a point to hit on some subjects that were deep. I've been homeless. I've had an abortion. I've been in drug addiction, alcohol. I mean, everything. And these people I can relate to because I've walked it. Don't get up there with your little book. Hellfire is going to come on you. If you haven't walked it, then don't speak on it. I really feel that way.
And I'd like to point this out, speak on it with love and not with condemnation.
Absolutely.
So I've never been homeless. Now, mind you, I lived in the desert in a tent that had a rip in the side that sand and dust blew through constantly. I've lived in hell type conditions, but I've never been homeless. And so I can't speak on how it is to be homeless, but I can speak about,
especially, there were kids there too. And I was homeless with my baby, living in my car. Yeah.
So you've lived in your car, you've had your babies living with you in your car. I understand. All right. And I love you.
Yeah.
Regardless of the situation in which you're in which you
right. Right. You know what? And I love the addicts too, because I know I've been one. I know how hard it is to try to get your head out of your head because you think for whatever reason. So I can sit down with an addict or an alcoholic, and totally say, you know what? I can relate to some of that. I can't relate to all of it because I'm not you. I
have in fact been an addict, so I can speak on that.
Yeah, it's miserable. And Darth makes a good point. The way I see it, let me get my glasses. The way I see it, there are two types of people in the world: sinners and saved sinners. Absolutely.
That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. We are all fallen people.
But we're all saved. It's whether we accept that or not. We need to accept that. That's what the free will is. I believe.
There's two different trains of thought on that as well. I mean, you have people who wallow in their sin. Like, oh, I'm a saved sinner, but I'm still a sinner, so I'm going to continue being a sinner.
Right.
The Apostle Paul speaks on that as well. He says,
using grace for sin.
Exactly. Shall we continue to sin in order to increase our grace?
Oh, heaven forbid, or what did he say? God forbid, or something like that. I love Paul because Paul was Saul, and sometimes I can relate to him because he was Saul. He was a freaking Christian killer.
Yeah, let me explain that. Let me go ahead and explain that real quick, just so everybody understands. Saul was a Pharisee. He was the Pharisee of the Pharisees. He was he learned at the feet of I can't remember the name right now. Well, anyway, he was one of the best Pharisees that Israel had seen in 100 years. All right, he was like a super theologian, and so he was the absolute Pharisee. He followed the law letter by letter. And he if anyone was a candidate for salvation under the law, it was Saul. And he held the cloak when Stephen was stoned to death. He held the cloak of Stephen when Stephen was stoned to death.
Yeah.
Or the cloaks of the persons who were, the first martyr. So he was an absolute Pharisee.
Mhm.
He was the Pharisee of the Pharisees, is what he called himself. He was first among religious leaders at the time. And then he was on his way to Damascus to kill more Christians, or to have more Christians killed. And he was struck blind. He spent 2 years in the desert learning Christian teachings. And when he came back, he became the apostle of the apostles.
Right.
So that is Paul. His name was changed from Saul to Paul. And Paul means little man. I'm not joking.
Yes.
That's literally what it means.
Mhm. Yeah, and he
Good
also
afternoon,
would
Joseph.
always say, "Oh yeah, Yosef from the future."
But yes, so
But
Paul
also
is
Paul
actually
was
my
so
favorite.
humble. That's
He
what
was.
yeah, so go on.
And I understand that.
Yes.
I
Paul and
do.
David.
I could really become. I could become one of those religious leaders who is um, very arrogant and rule driven and things like that. I could become one of them. But my disability keeps me from becoming an arrogant super Christian. I guess is the best way to say it.
That's your thorn.
That is my thorn in the
Is
side.
that your thorn in your side? We all
That
have
is my
one.
thorn in my side. Yeah.
Mm,
Paul
that's
was
very
blind.
interesting.
Paul was blind by the time he finished his second missionary journey. He was completely blind, almost completely blind. Probably cataracts or maybe glaucoma or whatever the case may be, but he was nearly blind. He had to have other people finish writing his epistles for him so he would narrate his epistles. And that was his, I don't know, he prayed, take this thorn from my side, but I don't think it was ever taken from him.
Because he said, God said, my grace is sufficient for you.
Hey, LDG Pixels, my brother. How are you this morning, my friend? Yeah, so that's it's a really fine line. A lot of religious persons have to walk. So, me personally, I think of myself as a humble person, and I do not proselytize on YouTube. But if you're here listening to this, I advertised it as a Bible study. So,
right.
If you're here listening, I appreciate it and thank you very much.
It's awesome. It's awesome. More people should explain their faith. It would give, I think.
Without arguing, that's the hardest part.
Yes.
Trying to get young Christians to realize that it's not about arguing your faith. It's about, explaining your faith.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, right. Captain Trek.
Good morning.
Morning.
I like what you're doing. Thank you, Mr. CCDV.
I appreciate that, Captain Trek. Thank you. And LDG, yes, I did mention that we had issues Friday night, but we're still brothers and friends. So I hope that's all right. I know we haven't talked since Friday night, so it's up to you. I'm extending the olive branch. But yes,
Friday was weird. Even I exploded at somebody, and that's so out of character for me. Yeah, Friday was a weird night. Day and night. Just saying.
Yeah.
I need to pop off because I think I'm getting cut out. So I'm going to go pop that. Okay.
Well, you still got a strong signal coming through. If you want to stay on, it's no big deal.
Oh, do I? Okay. I don't, from my part, it seems like, yeah, I'll stay on until somebody wants to come up because, on this phone here, it'll just zap me off anyways. The phone gods will just zap me off. We've had enough of you, girl. Bam, like they did the other night when I was trying to explain that I wasn't mad. I did not hit no buttons. I was way far away from my phone, and I look over, and I'm like, I'm not even freaking on, and I've been talking for 20 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, because they zapped. And I heard because they zapped you, they don't need another woman up there trying to take over a show. And I said, good point. I will never do that. I will never do that. I watch what happens. Yeah, learn from somebody else's mistakes too. That should be put in the Proverbs. Learn from others' mistakes.
Yeah, that actually is a proverb, but I mean, don't ask me which one.
Oh my God.
I'd have to look it up, but yeah, don't ask me which one right off the top of my head.
I love the Proverbs and the Psalms. Definitely. Those are my two, and Revelations. Those are my 3 books. I love Revelation. I can't wait. I want a front row seat.
Trying to get people to understand Revelation is like trying to get people to understand quantum physics. I don't have the math for it.
And that's why it says don't take anything from it or add to it. Just read it and God will show it. That's not something that I don't believe should be preached because there's too much. Well, this could stand for this, and now America's the new Babylon, and I'm like, but America didn't exist when that was written, but it was foretold. And I'm like, stop, y'all, just stop. One went so far about the moons. Well, there's always been 4 blood moons in a year. Look it up. They're always there. They're harvest moon and this moon and that moon. So it's like, I'm not going to argue because I'm paying attention to what that last line said. Do not take it or you will be cursed. I got enough going on. Like I said, I'm going to stand there it'll be a long time. Whoever's behind me in that line, you're going to have a long eternity wait after I'm done talking to the Almighty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember this?
I don't interpret it. I just read it. Read it, tell it like it is.
Yes,
that's all it is.
Right, exactly. Just, hey, read it for yourself. And that's what it says. Study the word. This is another point, and I never got for a while. Study the word. So this is King James, to show thyself worthy. I'm like, what? And I'm like, what does that mean? For years, to show thyself worthy. That means study the word for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Study the word for yourself, and God will give you your meaning, your truth. And I'm like, and that was one of those things where I woke up and I went, whoa, okay, I get it now. It's not to show myself worthy to God, because I will never be worthy, okay, in my eyes. But in my eyes, I'm already worthy because he sent down someone to lay down his life for his brothers and sisters.
Yeah, exactly. You are worthy. And that's the reason that he came down to lay down his life, is because you are worthy. And that's also a difficult point for many people to understand is worthiness is not what you're born with. Worthiness is what God values your life.
Exactly. It's like, wouldn't you lay down your life for one of your children? Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Would you be able, like in the movie The Shack, would you be able to choose between one of your children who was one who did wrong? Kind of like the prodigal son there, but when that whole murder thing happened, that I still get goosebumps. He goes, would you be able to choose between one of your children who got sent to hell and who didn't?
Yeah, that's tough.
Nope. No. But if that's their choice, you can only, another scripture I love too is teach them the way that they shall go. And when they get older, they will return to it.
or they shall not depart from it is what
Yeah.
it says.
Thank
But
you.
yeah.
Yes. I don't have the word in front of me, but yes, absolutely. And you know what? That is absolutely true because I was raised, people prayed over me. I ran wild. Seriously, I ran with the devil for 41 years. Okay. But who am I back with? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because I was raised with and it wasn't so much raised. Well, I was raised in the church, but we didn't believe in the Holy Spirit and all that. So I went out seeking myself. So that's why I know about Teo and Buddha and pagan and
Yeah.
Wiccan and all these other, because I really listened to these people
You know
and their
what,
beliefs, and
B-Star,
I found the
if you
connection.
don't mind,
No.
I'm going to refill my coffee right now.
Okay.
But if
I
you
want to hear
want to,
Captain Trek
yeah, you
speak.
two talk
Yeah.
amongst
Oh,
yourselves.
I was just enjoying listening to you all talk. I just didn't want to interrupt.
I was going to
No, I
say
would
I'll be
love
back
to
in.
hear your opinion and your truth. That's what it's all about. It's hearing other people's truths and opinions, you
I'll be
know?
right back.
Okay, dear. To me, that's what it's all about is to know what others think.
It's funny. I've done some searching myself, not to the extent that you have, but I grew up in a very mm, well. I went to a small church when I was a child. Um, then my grandmother moved into a uh, what do they call those things? An apartment for older people.
Right.
Um, that
Assisted
did
living.
well, not assisted living, but they had the little mm, call lights if they did happen to need something. So it wasn't they were
Right,
able to live
right.
on their own, but not but help was always available. And so I started to go to the church over there because it was bigger, that had more kids and blah 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 blah. But things started to change in my beliefs at that point because they were not teaching exactly the same.
Hmm.
Um, and I think I got, unfortunately, um,
Religious.
well, the problem was the people were teaching the wrong thing or focused on the
Mm-hmm.
wrong thing. Because there were a lot of people that I came in contact with that really started to, uh, there are these basically I am nothing type of spirituality. God first, others next, and then yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like no 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 no. If God sent His Son to die on the cross for me,
Mm-hmm.
I am not nothing.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. I am not nothing. I am not. It is God first, though. I mean,
Oh, it absolutely
definitely.
is.
But then it's like, you know what? How can you sit there and I believe it's this way. It's God first, then my spirituality, then I can pour out. How am I supposed to do God first, pour out if it's not poured into me?
Right.
See, and so when they say others first, yes, I do believe that others first, but before that, I have to be filled to pour out God's word. I can't just, if others first and I'm leaving God out, then it's all on me, and that's self-righteousness in my opinion.
Yeah,
So a
you've
lot of
heard
churches,
I'm sure
yeah.
you've heard the analogy of um, let's say baby Christian. Just when
Yeah.
you're a
Hmm.
baby and you're born, what do you live on? You live on milk,
Milk.
Milk. Hmm.
right? And so that is what is taught to a young Christian is milk. So if you teach a young Christian to go out there and start converting others, how is that young
Right.
Christian going to do it?
They need to grow up and eat some meat.
Exactly. They need to grow up and eat some meat first, and then they can go out and start talking to others about their faith,
Right.
about the good news of Jesus Christ, etc.
And do it boldly. Because
Exactly.
they have
But
something to stand on. Yes, not to just go out there willy-nilly.
instead of having a 2-year-old go out there and be like, blah, 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 Jesus, blah, 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 and I'm not going to
Right.
listen to anything you have to say, and you're a terrible person for not believing. Come on
Right.
now. Seriously?
Right.
Get,
Exactly.
get some experience behind you first, would you please?
Right.
Now, others grow up in the faith a lot faster than some. I mean, you've got
Yep.
people who go from brand new Christian to brilliant theologian within a couple of years, and you've got people who have been baby Christians their entire lives.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with either version of a person unless that person is driving others away from the faith.
Right. Right. It's like I was a baby Christian all my life. For real, until this last December when I died for the third time, you know? I mean, not like I didn't flatline or anything. I just was not there.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's hard to explain. But anyways, and then I heard, okay, you know, everybody's got their time, their season, whatever. This is yours.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, well, let's go. Because you've been in, and this is what I heard. Okay, and sometimes I think, like, is this my mind? Because I'm creative with words and stuff. But I heard, all right, you have been in Holy Spirit boot camp for 57 years, girl. It's time that you put on your armor and let's go do some fighting. I'm like, okay. If you say I'm ready, because it was like a year ago, I'm ready, use me, Lord, and it was like, yeah, no.
You're not ready.
Yeah, no.
I like that analogy.
Go back in the
Holy
field,
Spirit
girl. You
boot
are
camper.
not. You are not
I like
ready.
it.
You know that real. You know that dude that comes in and they're all like, "Yeah, let's go kick some Taliban butt or whatever," you know. And they're like, "Yeah, no, you have to go through these. You have to learn how to shoot a gun first, hun."
Darth Pastor, welcome.
Agreed.
Hey, yay!
Hello.
Now we'll get some
Hello.
good stuff too. And Darth is awesome.
Here, let me drop out so that Beastar can.
No,
Say again? No, there's plenty of room up here.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, I'm good. And if somebody else wants to come up, then I can drop out. I'm good for like 4.
oh
3
no,
or 4
Darth Pastor
people.
had to drop
Yeah.
again. I guess
Oh,
his phone
Darth,
wasn't
get your
working.
butt up here.
Damn it.
No worries.
Yeah.
He'll come up when his phone is working.
He'll be back up.
But I this is the paid service, so I can have 10 people up here asking me questions that I can't.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Just my phone won't do more than 5, and then it starts to get all weird. So that's when I drop out. Like after 5, I can't. My phone won't let me be. I don't. It's weird.
Ah,
Phone
okay.
gods.
Well, I
The
did.
phone gods once again.
I had to get new phones for all of us a couple weeks ago because my son has many of the same anger management problems that I do.
I just watched that movie, by the way, yesterday. Love that movie.
Anger management is a pretty funny movie.
Well, I just got this phone in September, and this is like a top of the line phone, so I shouldn't be. But I'm waiting to get my laptop. I'll be so much happier when I have my laptop.
Oh
able to
yeah,
function.
if I intend to go online, I don't do it on my phone
Yeah.
unless there's some reason that I cannot go on my desktop. Then I'll go on my phone if I must. But I try to avoid that whenever possible. And good morning, Dee Dee Myers. Good morning, Mountains of Elysium. How are you all?
Hi,
How
Mountains
is
of
everybody?
Elysium,
Can you
D.D.
hear me?
Myers. Yeah, barely, Darth.
I don't. I still hadn't figured out what's up with this headset.
Nah, I hear you just fine.
With the sound and everything, and yeah.
How you feeling today?
Good. I was wondering about you.
I know, dude, man. No, when I told you guys I was falling out, I fell out and I didn't wake up until 9 this morning.
Holy
Wow.
cow.
Yeah, that
Um,
is
just a second here. Pixelate is
uh,
starting a stream shortly.
Okay.
okay.
So we'll go ahead and wrap this up as soon as he
Okay.
starts his live stream. I'm assuming that's going to be in about 10 minutes. So if everybody is willing, we'll go over there and hang out with Pixelate or LDG Pixels for a little while. And we'll just have a good time over there, okay?
Yep.
Darth Haster, thank you for joining us. What is your opinion?
My opinion, I think I've already stated mine.
Well, yeah, true enough.
Eh, It's it's either you're saved or you're not. So either you're a sinner or a saved sinner.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a concept that a lot of people have trouble with. Uh, just because you're saved does not mean you're a perfect saint. Although we are saints when we're saved, it does not mean that we're perfect. We're not porcelain saints.
Wait, is that better?
Oh,
Yes.
much better.
Yes.
My headphone wire was loose on my. That's what it was.
There's your problem.
Yeah, I thought I was connected, but I definitely was not.
No, this is a good stream this morning. I hope it's something that you continue to do.
Yes.
Well,
It'll be
I
a
intend
great
to do
Sunday
this every
stream.
Sunday. It's just that I tend to forget to study for it.
But the best things aren't studied for, my dear. You know that.
Well, true
The
enough.
best things,
I could
just
pull
have.
up I could pull up a Bible verse off the top of my head and do a Sunday morning stream real quick.
See,
It's
that's
just
amazing.
I
That's
prefer
your
to
gift.
prepare. I prefer to
Yeah.
prepare. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
last Sunday, I was not prepared at all, and the subject did end up coming around to religious studies. So I really do. I enjoy doing the Sunday morning stream, and although I know it's opposite anti-trucker,
Mhm.
but he tends to go into more pop culture than I do, and I try to stick to the subject of religious studies on Sunday mornings. And good morning, Jeff Franklin.
Yay. Hello, Jeff Franklin. I hope you're well.
Eventually, I'll figure out how to embed some songs in here and get some worship going.
Oh, that would be
first thing in the
awesome.
morning. I have a couple of worship CDs. Just do one or two songs and then go on with the Bible study and then come on with the chat, with the panel and everything.
I actually talked to a couple contemporary Christian bands,
And then
and that I just think that might actually be cool. Like to get some music and worship together.
that actually would be cool. I would really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get permission to live stream some like old concerts or something.
Oh, that would be
Like
great.
Hillsong's really good for that. And I don't know, last night I was listening to Toby Mac. Toby Mac's like my favorite Christian rapper. Definitely. Yeah. I don't know. When I get like
his more popular songs are not rap, but yes, I know Toby Mac.
no, but like his like what is it when he talks about dang John in the desert.
Well, I don't know. I've never bought any
Anyways,
Toby Mac CDs, so.
Oh, I just have them on my on my playlist, and I was listening because I was going through some really weird crap yesterday, so I started listening to the Elements, and that's a really good CD. How he's fighting the elements of the world and stuff, and yeah, And then I've got on my playlist, my praise and worship is like all over the place. It's crazy stuff, but there's some really good music out there. Skillet's actually a Christian band, believe it or
Mhm.
not.
Yeah.
They're awesome. I mean, I can really relate to a lot of their songs, which see, and then people are like, well, that's not godly. Why?
Yeah, exactly. Why?
He's talking about like monsters, he's talking about the
He's
monster
talking
he
about the
became.
duality of man.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
It's
So
difficult
there's
to get your mind wrapped around different points of view in just the Christian faith. Can you imagine trying
I
to
know.
argue against other faiths all around the world?
No.
I mean, that is just insane, right?
If you
So
put them
stick to what you
together,
know.
if you parallel them, it's pretty much the basic core is the same, except for the names have been changed. Seriously. If you really, really dive deep into it, it's like you can point out, oh, have a good day,
All right.
mountains.
See
Yes,
you
have a good
later,
day.
mountains. And Jeff is in trouble with Jitsi, so
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
he didn't go to the doctor. So Jitsi Lemons is
Oh, crap.
shaking his head slowly while
Good thing I got
staring.
my feet up.
Yes, Jeff, you need to go check that out. It could be something
Yes, you do.
serious.
No, the morning blend is supposed to be shared throughout the fandom. So anyone who wants to do a morning blend just needs to get in contact with Bill and let him know if you want to do a Saturday or Sunday. Now, mind you, it has come to the point where I'm doing Sundays frequently, and so if I take a week off, if I go to visit my mom or something like that, then Sunday will be open. But I prefer to keep the Sunday slot for the morning blend,
Yes.
just because I've gotten into a rhythm at this point of speaking about spiritual issues on the show. However, anyone is allowed to do a morning blend if Bill doesn't want to, or if Bill, if you coordinate with him ahead of time and he wants to let you do a Saturday or Sunday show, just let us know ahead of time and it's all yours. So even you, Jeff, can host a morning blend if you want to.
Maybe you can host a morning blend all about on how we took care of your shoulder by going to the doctor and finding out what was wrong. Just saying, my dear, we care
What
about
happened to
you.
that?
Yes. Need
All
to go to
right.
the doctor.
So
Yes.
it looks like there's only just a couple of minutes left before we're all supposed to migrate over to LDG Pixels or Pixelate. I'm not sure which name he's using for the live stream this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. V-Star, thank you for joining us. Darth
Thank you for
Haster,
having
thank
me.
you. Captain Trek, I appreciate it.
Of
And
course.
again, I'll be here next Sunday unless someone takes my slot. So okay, so thank you everyone. Jeff Franklin, Jitsi Lemons, Mountains of Elysium, everyone who joined us. I hope you enjoyed the Bible study. If you didn't hear it, you can go back and replay it whenever you want to. I'm going to leave this one up, although I'm probably going to take down the well, I'm definitely going to take down the Sparkly Vampire stream. I'll probably take down the 2 karaoke streams as well. Although I'm not monetized, so the copyright claims don't really matter to me at this point, but I'll take them down anyway, just to be sure. And Happy Dinosaur, thank you for checking in with us.
Oh, happy dinosaur.
Holy crap! It's Happy Dino, my favorite prehistoric friend from another time.
We got the future and the past here.
Yeah, we do.
And the present. We got all three.
4 weeks ago, I think it was just me and Happy Dinosaur on here doing this. And now, what is it? 4 weeks later, I got 10 people with 3 panelists. I love it. So I am definitely going to keep doing this on Sunday mornings if Jedi Bill allows me. So thank you
Awesome.
again, Jedi Bill, for putting this together and
Yes,
allowing me
thank you,
to host
Jedi.
on Sunday mornings. So let's go ahead and wrap this up and
Alrighty.
go on over and talk to LDG Pixels. How about that?
All right.
Sounds
Love
good.
one another. Be good to each other.
Yeah.
Have
be
a
awesome
great
to
week,
each other.
everybody. Thanks again.
Alrighty.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.